Sign up now at sasportstar.com. San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys have one that they wish they could forget about, dropping their home opener to the Saints, 44-19. The Houston Texans improved to 2-0, holding off Chicago 19-13 on Sunday Night Football. The Texas Longhorns are number one in the AP poll after being UTSA 56-7, although Quinn Ewers suffered an abdominal strain, likely to miss this week against Louisiana Monroe.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge. What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for tuning in, however you may be doing so, whether that's 94.1 on your FM dial, or if you're listening online via the AA Best Bail Bonds audio player at sasportstar.com. Maybe you're watching via YouTube. All of our shows stream on the YouTube app. Go to at SA Sports Star on YouTube. Go ahead, like, subscribe. You can follow along, comment along with the show. Frank Valdez, Fred Robert Casares, Vince Trevino already up in the bullpen commenting away. What's going on, guys? Appreciate y'all for following along. As always, man, that was a rough one yesterday for the Dallas Cowboys after what we saw and how impressive the defense looked against Cleveland to the 180-degree difference that you saw against the Saints. And it's trying to figure out now, is Cleveland bad? Is New Orleans a lot better than we're giving them credit for? Or did Dallas simply just buy into the hype and overlook New Orleans going into their home opener? That's the real question that is coming across everybody's mind. And they've got a very hungry Baltimore team coming into town this week that is 0-2 and desperate for their first win. So for Dallas, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered between now and this coming Sunday. And earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle, they were breaking down that disaster up in Dallas.
I'm more convinced now that the Saints and Cowboys are not on the same level.
No, we changed the opinion there.
The
Saints are actually, in the long run, dude, they're a much better team than anybody thought.
Oh, they're better than I thought, for sure.
That's not an excuse. You know what I mean? There was a lot of other things that need to be excused from the Cowboys. But at the end of the day, they're going to look back and go, well, yeah, we took them too light. But that's just the tip of what is a tragic iceberg.
I don't know how it could have gone worse.
No, it couldn't have.
I mean,
the first 6 possessions were touchdowns. 6 consecutive drives or scores.
And then, which, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, last week, every drive that the Saints went on ended in points. They never punted. They didn't turn it over last week. So, Derek Carr started the season with 14 or 15 consecutive scoring drives.
Oh,
which is wild to think about.
They've scored 91 points in the first 2 games. That's 4th in NFL history, behind the Raiders in 95, the 09 Saints, who also did it in 93, and the 1920 Rock Island Independence.
Oh, yeah, that was my favorite.
That was one of the great teams, but they are putting points up in buckets. This Kubiak kid got some offense in his pocket.
So think about that. All those touchdowns, 6 touchdowns in a row, and then finally Cowboys get an interception. And it's like, oh, yeah, suck on that. Here we go. What are we going to do with this? I don't know. Throw an interception the very first play, they get it back. How could this have gone worse, Rob? Is there what?
No, there's no. Because not only
there could have been a major injury, I guess.
Maybe what happened yesterday. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's week 2.
Sure.
But what happened was it exposed exactly what we had been talking about for the last 8 months. We know you got to sign Dak. We know you've got some other stuff, but the real needs here, as far as the longevity and immediate winning here, is defensive line and running back. And you didn't do anything. You did nothing to fix it. And yesterday, it was totally exposed. The two things you needed, you didn't have.
Yeah. And I mean, that speaks to a lot of that, to me, speaks to toughness. Like defensive line, running game is that's toughness game. And the Cowboys just got bullied.
So there's that. And then we talked earlier, and being at the game, you always get a little bit different perspective. You miss a lot. You don't hear a lot of the stats. But one of the things you do get there is you get an idea of a player's state, how the arm release, his movement, what goes on when the camera follows a play, things like that. I was curious about Dak's arm. I was like, what? Is his arm hurt or what's going on? And I ask you, how many of his early passes went more than 10 yards? Well, I found a stat here. Dak Prescott has gone 4 of 18, 22% in any throw of 15-plus yards in the air.
Jeez.
I'm starting to wonder, is there something wrong with Dak's shoulder? I mean, now we're 2 games into this. You're 4. And first of all, you've only thrown 18 downfield past 15 yards. That's a questionable thing anyway. Only 18 throws in 2 games. 4 of 18. It's either scheme or arm.
Or it's not, I mean, I you know what? I can't say that. I was going to say Dak never plays in the preseason. I was going to say maybe it's not, getting that preseason
maybe
work,
there is something to that. I'm not going to discount that, but he's always been good downfield. 54% in his attempts last year, 5th best in the NFL. Right now, it's not there.
And last week it didn't matter because you could make a justification what you shouldn't have been throwing the ball down the field. You didn't need to.
Yeah, we didn't need it.
But in this game where you really needed to, you asked me like how many do you remember in the game, and I was like, the only one I could remember in the first half was one that he threw downfield and it actually was complete and it got called back for holding. Guyton was holding on the play and they brought it back. I don't remember another deep shot in the early game.
Just something to pay attention to over the next couple of days, because that's a minor part of what went wrong yesterday. Just one of the many things. I used to have a coach. I used to kind of believe it, that sometimes it's better to just get your ass kicked. Sometimes it's better to walk into some place and just get dismantled, get beaten the brakes off, to go back in and go home and be embarrassed about what happened to you, so you can truly face your problems. And maybe that's the case, but I don't believe that anymore. Getting your ass kicked ain't good for anybody at any time. It wasn't at the second half for the Saints. That was like a practice. I guess that helped them for future effort because they didn't have any need to win the game. The Cowboys were already dead in the water. I mean, the game was over at halftime. It was done. So at that point, the Saints were like, just nobody get hurt, and let's pile on some stats and let's put up some biblical numbers. And they did do that. Meanwhile, the Cowboys just kind of stumbling around out of the game in the second half with really no even attempt to rectify anything. But let's just start winging it on every play because obviously we can't run it.
Yeah, and then the fact that they just kept having to settle for field goals in a game that you knew field goals weren't going to be enough. They settled for a field goal at the end of the half, which I get it. It's the end of the half. You want to get some kind of positive momentum going, but at that point, you were down 35-13. Like, is that field goal going to save you? And then you start the second half, and they got to the 10-yard line, and they ended up having to kick. Was damn near a 50-yard field goal. Like it was just a symphony of disasters. They are way too comfortable settling for field goals. It's just they cannot. You're not going to win many football games like that, and I mean, especially when your defense was as crappy as they were yesterday. It's wild because maybe I got suckered, but I was like, if this defense plays anything like they played against Cleveland, I was like, the offense it's gonna naturally come around, and this could be a really great team. And then watching the defense yesterday, I think they were worse than the offense. They stunk.
How much in your eyes was it scheme and prep, and then how much of it was they just got bullied?
I think it's 50-50. I do think this was a really bad look for Mike Zimmer.
Mm-hmm.
Really bad look for Mike Zimmer. But there's no way to avoid talking about the fact that they just got pushed around. Like they got shoved wherever they wanted to get shoved. And Alvin Kamara was having like walk-in touchdowns where he's not getting touched. That can't happen.
That was the Morning Huddle this morning. AJ Hoffman, Rob Thompson. Be sure to join them every weekday morning from 6 to 10 right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Coming up next, well, you heard from the Morning Huddle. The Blitz will discuss where the D in Dallas was yesterday. But I keep looking back at, the lack of success in the red zone, and are they getting complacent with their play calling the closer they get to being in field goal range, as Jason and Rob brought up this morning. And it's difficult to disagree with that narrative when you think about what the play calling has been over the last couple of years under Mike McCarthy. And if so, that could be a death knell for him. What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. I'll let you know that if you're listening right now, I've got 2 pair of tickets to go see Till Lindemann at Rammstein out at the Boeing Center at Techport. That is coming up tomorrow, September the 17th. And if you want to go, be colors 5 and 6 right now, and you'll get yourself a pair of tickets to go see Till Lindemann of Rammstein out at the Boeing Center at Techport tomorrow night. Tickets available at Techport Center if you don't win them right now. But colors 5 and 6, you're going for free tomorrow night to go see Till Lindemann of Rammstein out at the Boeing Center at Techport Arena. Coming up next, the Blitz reacts to where was the D in Dallas. That's coming up here on Extra Innings with Pledge on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Trane heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TraneInfo.com to find your local independent Trane dealer. TraneInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Your neighbors at El Guacamole Mexican Grill on 25020 Blanco Road are ready to serve you breakfast or lunch fresh. Made to order Mexican dishes or cold drinks on tap. Order today or visit El Guacamole Mexican Grill on 25020 Blanco Road.
Hey, football fans, Michael Vick here. I had an advantage. My legs were a weapon. 6,109 rushing yards, still unbeaten records. That's why I bet at BetUS.com. They offer American sports bettors an advantage. The industry's biggest bonus, a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. And get expert picks and predictions on their very own BetUS TV. Take advantage. Join me online at BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. BetUS, where the game begins.
Make the Break Room on Pat Booker Road in Live Oak your football watching headquarters. The brand new Break Room has 17 TVs, brand new pool tables, dartboards, and even a putting green outside to enjoy while watching the games and hanging with friends. And the kitchen is always open during games. More than your average neighborhood bar, check out the Break Room at 8084 Pat Booker Road in Live Oak. Follow the Break Room Live Oak on social media for the latest specials and events. The Break Room, 8084 Pat Booker Road in Live Oak.
At Progressive, we know there's a lot of things you can track. Steps, calories, heart rate, your pet steps, screen time, the whereabouts of your favorite celebrity, how long you slept, how long you didn't sleep, how long you thought about sleeping, how long you thought about sleeping. But none of these things could save you money, unlike Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate based on how and how much you drive. It's much better for your bottom line than tracking your Cocker Spaniel's resting heart rate. So download the Progressive app today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
George gets justice. When you've been injured, you need to get George Salinas Injury Lawyers because you need someone who understands your pain and the impact an accident has on your life. You need someone who listens and is always there fighting for you and your future. When you get George Salinas Injury Lawyers, you get all this and more. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. And remember, you won't pay anything unless they win your case. Call George Salinas at 210-225-0909. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
With NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you can watch every game, every Sunday, all in one place. Which means you can watch the Dolphins, and the Broncos, and the Lions, and the Cowboys, and the Jets. Or whoever you're rooting for, all in your living room. But not literally, of course. That would be dangerous. Watch every game, every Sunday with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Sign up at youtube.com/NFLST. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything. Like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
FX's The Old Man is back.
My daughter has been kidnapped.
Academy Award winner Jeff Bridges.
Things are about to get serious.
Black Horse. Golden Globe winner John Lithgow.
Things have changed. Everyone is vulnerable.
I will make it back.
Amy Brenneman.
It's scared of this weapon that I've been given.
I won't see it coming.
FX's The Old Man. All new Thursdays on FX. Stream on Hulu.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Because nobody likes having to choose. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
Jane, I love you. Also, I'm a robot.
Or being a dog person and a cat person.
Who wants a treat? Who's a good boy?
Or like being an extrovert and an introvert.
Woo! This is so fun! I can't wait to go home.
At T-Mobile, you don't have to choose. You can get the benefits you want and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how much you can save with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, when you switch, you can keep your phone and we'll pay it off up to $800.
Via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device, credit, service, and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months. See T-Mobile.com.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
It's Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, sasportstar.com, and on YouTube at SA Sports Star. Go ahead, like, subscribe. You can comment along, or you can just call in at 210-656-ESPN. That is 210-656-3776. If you want to be a part of the conversation. Alfred did. Alfred, what's going on, man? Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledge.
What's up, Pledge?
What's happening, my guy? How you doing?
I'm good. Dallas lost. Texans win. I'm not even a Texans fan, but this is awesome. It's a great day in San Antonio. Amazing.
So just a lot of hate for the Cowboys then?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a Washington fan.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Of course, yeah. Yes, I hope the Eagles lose tonight too.
Well, I think Cowboy fans are also pulling for that record tonight. So I think y'all are pulling for the same thing tonight. But, you know, as a Texans guy, it was not impressive, but it was effective. And they're doing something this year that they didn't do last year, which is win games late with their defense and finding different ways to win. Last week, they grinded a game out by running the clock out. And against the Bears, they managed to just end it with their defense. And those are things that fell through the cracks last year for this team. So, yeah, I think they're still getting used to different parts of the offense, like Stephon Diggs and trying to get everything on the same page. And I do believe the offense will get more cohesive as the season goes on, but they're finding ways to win right now, and that's important.
Absolutely. So that brings me to my two topics on the Texans.
Sure.
What's going on with Tank Dell and his involvement with the offense? Is it just now just Diggs' team now? Because I felt that was CJ's guy last year. And me having Tank Dell in fantasy, I'm a big Tank Dell fan. I'm like, what's going on? Is it just the Diggs thing? Or, CJ just, Nico was great, but what's going on with Tank? And then my second question, was it just Caleb Williams was that bad, or the Texans defense was that good?
I think it's a combination of both. On point two of yours, the Texans defense is really good. They did a bunch of things. They blitzed, which they don't normally do. D'Amico Ryans doesn't, but they blitzed heavily Caleb Williams to really confuse him. And something else he doesn't do often is have his corners travel. And you saw that Derek Stingley was following DJ Moore around. So they did a couple of things abnormal to what D'Amico Ryans normally does on defense. And between Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter, and you saw Mario Edwards and Fadakasi on that defensive line, I can only imagine once Danico Autry gets past that 6-game suspension, how that defensive line is going to look even more brutal than it already is. And the secondary is a lot better. Kamari Lasser had a couple of picks. One was called back from a penalty near the line of scrimmage, but Kamari Lasser looks like a great second to Derek Stingley, who's starting to look like a true number one corner in this league. So I think that defense is legit. And they gave, outside of 2 or 3 big plays that they gave up to Anthony Richardson, they kept Anthony Richardson in check last week too. But he hit on a couple of really big plays. So that defense, I think, is legit. Now, your first question, as it pertains to Tank Dell, look, as it pertains to Tank Dell, I think this offense, and I've thought this most of the year because of just the amount of weaponry it has, I'm believing more and more that Nico's the number one, more so than I ever did even coming into the year. Just through these first 2 games, I think Nico is the number one option for him. And the rest of it, it's going to be a whose day is it? Like week 1, it was working with Mixon. They're going to pound Mixon and continue to ride that. If Stephon Diggs is open early like he was in that first game, they're going to ride him. There's going to be days where Tank is the beneficiary of the game plan. I truly think this is just going to be a who's open offense week to week. And that's really not great for fantasy, but it's really tough to defend against if you're an NFL defense.
I agree. And it hurts me because I passed up Nico a lot because I thought Tank was
going to be the guy.
I mean, he wanted him drafted when he was drafted. I mean, you would think, but hey, I thought maybe it was the injury still lingering, maybe not 100, but
well, he just did barely. If Tank makes it, it would have been a tough catch, but if he makes a catch, he's got 6 on one of those where he had him beat over the middle. So part of it too, I think, is just timing. Like they're all trying to get on the same timing page right now. And I think 3-4 weeks into the season, we'll start to see things click a little bit better with this offense. Don't give up hope on Tank yet.
No, I'm not, because it's funny. I had a lot of Cowboy fans laugh at me when I drafted Texans defense. And who's laughing now, Cowboy fans? Who's laughing now? Whose defense did better this week, huh? That's what I'm talking about.
I appreciate the phone call, Alfred. You're welcome to call back anytime. That's going to do it for Extra Innings with Pledge. We got Monday Night Football coming up next right here on San Antonio Sports Star as the Philadelphia Eagles get set to take on the Atlanta Falcons, brought to you by Flight by Yingling.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right. Enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit diamondsdirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Have you or a family member been arrested? The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, can help regardless of the legal battle you are facing, personal injury or criminal defense. Attorney Jesse Hernandez